What's up, guys? I'm Riven.
And I'm Talos.
We're the Studley Boys. Welcome back to the Studley News Network. It's been a slow week in terms of news, and we already covered the Ubisoft Forward showcase in a separate video. So if you guys want to check out our breakdown for that, we'll leave a link down in the description below. But next week, Microsoft will be holding its Xbox Games Showcase, so we're going to talk about what you guys can expect from that. As always, timestamps will be down in the description below, as well as links to all the articles. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. And if you guys want to hang out with us, we stream on Twitch every Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. With that being said, on with the news.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, so first article we're going to cover for today's episode. The Xbox Game Showcase promises to be about just games. According to this article, Xbox will only be showcasing its games, which is sort of disappointing because we were all hoping that Xbox would release the price right about now, right? We're in July, we're in the middle of the year. The big next-gen battle is going to happen in a couple of months between the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. We still don't know the prices.
Xbox had to kind of step up the game a little bit on this one because their first press conference was a complete disaster.
We covered the Sony press conference, right? And they went over a couple of the games in their next-gen lineup. So we got a lot of information from that PS5 showcase, except we didn't get a price for the PlayStation 5 as well. We were speculating that maybe we were hoping that Xbox releases its price first, and then maybe PlayStation will reactively release its price based on what Xbox sets its price to.
I mean, we heard rumors basically that the Xbox Series X as well as the Xbox Series S will be significantly cheaper than the PS5 and the PS5 digital. So I'm not sure if they will be shooting this up in the foot if they do it first, but I kind of feel like that's the only initiative or ignition they have really to compete against the PS5 or Sony in general. So they might have to release the price in this next press conference, I would imagine.
Right, or if not this press conference, like maybe like a following one. But in terms of like the Xbox, we already know quite a lot about it. Like we already know what it looks like, right? We already have like a list of its specs. So we
know there's going to be two versions, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series X.
Yes, and that's an interesting point you bring up. I believe they haven't talked about the alternate Xbox, right?
Yes. We talked about it in last week's episode, basically that there'll be another event in August where they talk more in detail with the Xbox Series S.
Right, all right. So that's like one of the things that we were hoping to get, but yeah, unfortunately we won't be getting it here.
So do you think the conference in August will be more hardware? So that's when they will reveal the price?
Honestly, I hope so. I hope so. If they're going to do games here, then it would only make sense for them to do hardware for the next showcase. So in terms of the games, let's take a look at them real quick. Xbox July Games Showcase, the games you might see revealed. So obviously the big one is Halo Infinite, right? That's I believe that's going to be...
it's going to be a launch title.
That's going to be a launch title, right? And I think that's a very, very strong launch title. Halo Infinite Gameplay Warzone 2.0 Beta. One game we can guarantee will be at the showcase is Halo Infinite. Xbox has spent a great deal of time and energy building up anticipation for the gameplay reveal of Master Chief's latest outing. Halo Infinite's massive scale answer to the Battle Royale craze. The beta for this enormous multiplayer experience also shadow dropped right after the close of the event, giving players a chance to feel the new engine for themselves.
Nice.
So yeah,
that'd be fun. Actually, I would love a Halo Battle Royale.
How do you think it's gonna go though? Like you're gonna be able to customize your own Spartan armor?
I would imagine so, because if you remember back in the day with Red versus Blue, they have their own different color armor. But in this case, I forget what game it was where you actually customize specific armor. I want to say it was their RTS that they had released a while back.
Yeah.
But that was also that was customizable as well. So that'd be really, really cool. Like especially with the hype of battle royale games nowadays. I would actually be very interested to play a Halo Battle Royale because I've kind of got a little bit obsessed with it since I've been playing COD Mobile.
Elden Ring gameplay trailer. Not too familiar with this one here.
I think this is actually a new IP because I do not notice either. It's made by From Software, I think.
Oh, yeah, From Software, yeah. So yeah, this is an interesting one. Yeah, it's from Software. They're responsible for the Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, Sekiro. We don't really know too much about it, and this article isn't really telling us a lot. But if it's from Software, then it's gonna probably be the similar gameplay style. Very difficult.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get some gameplay with that one.
Yeah.
Medium. Yeah, it's a partnership with the horror developing studio Blooper.
Yeah. So I guess this is going to be like the next survival horror title.
It kind of reminds me of like what is that one? Oh yeah, Evil Within.
Evil Within. Yeah, Evil Within.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Looks interesting though. Okay, Everwild gameplay revealed. I don't know what this is.
This kind of feels like a flower game, or like that flower game or Journey.
Yeah,
it kind of has that same architecture, but it's an open world RPG. It says here.
Oh, it's developed by Rare.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an open world RPG like Sea of Thieves. It will be co-op focused with greater emphasis on engaging RPG elements. It will also be another stunning example of open world game development for the Xbox Series X. This looks promising, actually.
It looks like an exclusive title as well.
Yeah. The initiative's first game reveal.
Rebranding of the Perfect Dart.
Yeah. So the Perfect Dart games, I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It was originally on the Nintendo 64, and then they made like a reboot of it or something, or a sequel for I think the Xbox
360, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't really do well, but yeah, it looks like they're rebooting it.
Mm-hmm.
First off, this is the highly speculated reboot of the Perfect Dark franchise, taking some inspiration from the 2013 reimagining of Tomb Raider.
Ooh.
We're gonna get a first look at the gritty new Joanna Dark, combining heavy narrative themes with gadget-based stealth gameplay. Interesting. They're going for the gritty reboot.
Okay.
Which should be interesting, actually.
Developed by who? Or is it an Xbox Studio? It might be or Microsoft Studio, man. I believe it's Microsoft. Yeah, I believe it's Microsoft Studios.
Hellblade 2 gameplay trailer. Following the powerful and cryptic reveal of Hellblade 2 during the Game Awards last year, fans have been eagerly awaiting more information on the next chapter of Senua's story. I don't know why. I feel like we saw this in the PlayStation 5 reveal. It looks oddly familiar.
Members of Ninja Theory will share their experiences developing for the Xbox Series X. So I believe this is. I don't think it's going to be exclusive, but they're just going to talk about the development using the Unreal Engine 5 on Xbox Series X.
Yeah. Capcom's Dead Rising reboot. This looks interesting.
Have you played the first one? I know I haven't.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. So this is like Capcom's take on the zombie survival, which sort of plays like Dynasty Warriors, I feel like, because it's just like waves of zombies coming at you, and it's just like one dude, just like killing them all.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, this should be. I don't know whether it's gonna keep like its same sort of arcadey style gameplay, or maybe they might make it more realistic. But I feel like a lot of reboots nowadays they're turning things more
realistic.
Yeah, more realistic, I feel like, and less over the top.
Yeah, but it's nice for a developer to like just be a little less serious sometimes, because I feel that's the one thing I noticed about a lot of games nowadays is they take the games way too seriously, or at least the story itself is too serious.
Yeah,
it's nice to have a game that's like kind of like just an arcadey style, like for fun type deal. Now this one is actually I'm really excited for if they do come out with a Fable reboot.
Yeah.
I was a big.
Have you played some of the Fable games?
I have actually. I played the first one and the second one. I did not play the third one. But like the first one when I first played it, like the way they explained it, I believe it's developed by who? Lionheart?
Lion Studios, I believe.
Lion Studios. But regardless, when they first present the idea of having a character you could customize and have an open world, and they just made the possibilities endless. Obviously, they didn't live up to everyone's expectations, but it was still a fun game, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Fable 2 introduced like a dog companion with you, which is also pretty cool. Obviously, I'm a fan of dogs. I never played Fable 3, but I heard it wasn't as good as the first two, so that's why I never really dived into it. But if they come up with a reboot, have some more modern Unreal Engine 5 graphics, and still have that same feel and that I loved about the first Fable, then I think this would be a good game to be introduced. And also, if it's going to be a launch title or close to launch title, I think that this would be a console seller.
So the Xbox Game Showcase will be airing on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter on July 23rd. That's a Thursday, 5 p.m. BST, 9 a.m. PDT. Talos will be covering it, so if you guys want to check out his live reaction to it, definitely stay tuned. Follow us on our Twitch channel and check it out.
And of course, we'll be doing a breakdown video as well with me and Riven. Instead of doing our normal episodes, we'll just do a complete breakdown video next week as well.
Yep.
All right, guys, rolling to the next article here. We basically, I kind of briefly talked about this in my my Market Watch episode about Xbox or Microsoft versus Sony. One of the reasons for Microsoft kind of dropping Mixer was there more investment into the XCloud streaming platform. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Basically, XCloud, in a sense, will be competing directly hand-to-hand with Google Stadia.
So I think they released a story today. Microsoft is planning to launch its game streaming service, currently known as Project xCloud, free to its paying Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers in September. The xCloud service will allow Xbox players to play games on mobile devices, or even start a game on their console and resume it on their phone or tablet. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate combines Xbox Live Access, Xbox Game Pass subscription, and starting in September, xCloud game streaming in a single $14.99 monthly subscription. Microsoft is promising that more than 100 Xbox Game Pass titles will be playable on the phone or tablet when the streaming service launches. Microsoft isn't detailing which countries will be supporting at launch, though the company has been building out its Azure data centers across the US and parts of Europe.
So are they charging your actual your Xbox Game Pass and the xCloud? Or is it xCloud?
No. The xCloud will come for free if you have the gold subscription.
And how much is the gold subscription?
You can choose to do the access to the PC games, right? That's going to be $5 a month. Mm-hmm. Or you can do the unlimited access to games on your console, which is $10 a month. But for a $14.99 a month price, you can do the gold subscription.
For your first month.
Yeah. Well, it's $1 for your first month, and then $15 for the following months.
Gotcha.
So it's a combination of the PC and the console, so you'll have access to all of that. But if you have the Ultimate subscription, xCloud will be free for you. PlayStation Now, it's going to be $5.99 for a year.
And then 1 month is $9.99. Okay, so it's still cheaper.
Right.
Oh wait, no, that's the PlayStation Now. That's different. Go down. There it is. Oh yeah, okay. It's still $9.99.
No, it's not Plus though. Because Plus isn't a streaming service. The PlayStation Now is a streaming service, right?
Oh well, okay. But I believe with that you have to get the PS Plus and the. It's not bundled together. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is the PlayStation Now and the PS Plus is two separate things. So in a way, this Xbox One is actually a much better deal because it's bundled together for $14.99 a month.
Right. And they were saying that you have access to not only Xbox exclusive games, but like a couple of other third-party games as well. This is pretty much everything that the Stadia is trying to do. The Xbox xCloud is doing so much more better.
And also, to keep in mind as well, the Microsoft Xbox family, they have a much better fan base than Google Stadia has, because if you ever talk about Google Stadia, people with other gamers, they just typically either laugh or they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, everything that Stadia has done has been a failure, right? You have to pay full price for the games for Stadia. Here, you just have to pay for the $15.99 a month, and you get access to even new games. For day one, you'll get access to them. So it's in my opinion, it's a pretty good deal. It lets you try out.
It's a fantastic deal. Yeah.
I believe the library of games for the Xbox is much more than the Stadia. I think the Stadia's library was, I think it was like only 50 games or so, and XCloud it's offering, I believe, like at minimum 100 games.
Yeah. And to be honest, like a lot of gamers love the idea of like playing an Xbox or console game on their phone or on the go.
Yes.
So the fact that they're offering that, it's a huge deal. Like I would love to play like Halo Infinite, for example, on my phone while I'm at lunch during my lunch break or at work or something like that.
Yeah, and then if you go home and you play that same game, you can continue from where you left off.
Yep, that's huge. Yep, that's huge. That's huge.
Stadia promised 60 frames for the games, right? And when it released, I believe most of them were locked at 30 frames per second.
Yeah, due to latency.
Yeah, they're really pushing the whole 4K thing, but I think we talked about it before that the 60 frames is a lot more noticeable sometimes. I would much rather have the 60 frames rather than the 4K resolution.
In a way, though, I feel like the technology is not quite there yet to get a full, like zero latency, like full 60 frames and 4K all in one device, especially if it's going to be a cloud-based device. So I'm pretty sure if you're going to try to play the games on your phone, it will have to be downscaled. Because obviously the Xbox Series X will be a much more powerful hardware device than your phone will, depending on what phone you have. But even with the latest phones nowadays, I feel like it still doesn't have the full hardware capacity that a full hardware device like the Xbox Series X will have. And that's going to be one of the troubles. It's something they kind of like gamers have to kind of deal with. But in the same extent to that, the Switch, in terms of when the Switch came out, when you undock the Switch, they typically have a downgraded look to it. But when you plug it into the dock, they usually have the graphics as well as frame rates are usually much more enhanced. But they're able to perfect it in a way where it's not too bad. And I'm hoping and thinking that the Xbox with their XCloud will also have that same kind of feel.
Do you think that like the limitations of our internet connection is are we going to be able to fully take advantage of this technology, to its optimal?
Me personally, I don't think so, because you also have to think about like people that use data as well. Sometimes like you're on a bad spot and your data's and you're not getting the correct Wi-Fi signal or the correct satellite signals for your data transfers. So that may be a hindrance as well, especially if you're playing like a multiplayer game that requires internet access or Wi-Fi access or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
that could be an issue. Because if you remember, like the PlayStation Vita tried to do something similar to that, where you could pretty much play your PS3 game and play it on the Vita, or your PS4 games are played on the Vita. But I tried testing this out, where basically I tried playing my Vita game and trying to while I'm in my friend's internet Wi-Fi, and it didn't work. There was no transfer with that. It had to be on the same Wi-Fi name and password from my PS4, so that was kind of an issue. So I'm pretty sure I'm hoping they fix that issue with the XCloud, where you can just play it wherever Wi-Fi or not, and still be able to continue where you left off. But it just sounds very ambitious at the moment, and I just can't see it being like, I guess, perfect at launch. Maybe with 5G, it's like different. But most people don't even have 5Gs right now. So like, I would imagine with 5G it'd be better. But if you're still running 4G LTE, I feel like you're still going to have some latency issues and some like lag and all that. I don't know.
Do you think that subscription services might be the future in terms of next gen?
I mean, it's kind of the present, actually.
No,
not the future; it's the present.
No. I mean, will that become mainstream to the point that people stop buying games and then just all go on a subscription service and they play their games that way? Because we talked about it in the last episode about how games are getting much more expensive nowadays, right? They're planning on bumping it up to an extra $10 for the next gen consoles. People might not be able to afford that given the current conditions right now with with the Rona and mass unemployment. People might not have money to play a game. So it might be like a better alternative to just do like a monthly subscription service.
How would developers make money off of it though? Now they have to be complete reliant on making money through the subscriptions. And
that's a good question.
To me, that's not quite feasible. I think it's still. I can understand with like older games, but not with newer games.
Right. In the end, the developer will also have to agree to it, right? And if they feel like they're not going to make any money off of it, they won't do it. But I think it's a good idea though. If a game was going to be available for Xbox Game Pass, right? Like a new game, you're going to be able to play it. On the first day.
Or what they could do is they can have brand new games on the Game Pass or whatever the subscription model is for the PlayStation or Sony. But the new games will be I guess available on Game Pass for like the first month or the first few weeks, and then or maybe like the first 2 weeks will be you can only get the hardware or you can only download it directly from the developer, and then after that it'll go to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Kind of like what they do in movies nowadays. Like the first month, like most of the profits go to the developers and or the guys who made the movie, and then after that, the theater starts making the money off of showing the movie. So maybe they go with that model. That would make sense if 100% of the money from that game comes out. Then I don't know. I'm just trying to think of as a business how would that make money, but.
I'm looking at it from like a consumer's point of view, right? If like a new game comes out and say it's available for Xbox Game Pass, and I wanted to play it, I would only have to pay $15 just for like 1 month subscription, and then play and beat the game within the whole month, and then just cancel my subscription, right?
Yeah, so that's one way to do it. Yeah, that's. To be honest, that was kind of like the if you remember Blockbuster back in the day, that was the whole Blockbuster mentality too. Yeah. Like you would get a brand new game on Blockbuster that you rent out for a month, beat the game, and then return it.
Right.
And you only paid like $5 or $10 to rent it out. So that's kind of like the same idea. So I don't know. I mean, as a consumer, I think it's beneficial, but I'm also thinking about the business side of it. Like, is it sustainable for the business to make money and still make good games? So I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
Yep. And like we mentioned before, XCloud streaming will be free with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate in September.
All right, rolling into Talos Tidbits. Before we get started, though, a word from our sponsors. Today's sponsored video is our Amazon affiliate links.
We set up links to the various equipment we use to stream and produce these shows. Every streamer and YouTuber needs a good mic, which is why we use the Blue Yeti microphone.
The mic that we use offers the crisp audio quality at an affordable price. So definitely check out the links down below for affiliate links, and any support there also supports us right here in the show. All right. First article, the big one, Halo Infinite, the teaser revealed by Xbox, as we talked about in our previous discussions. Very excited for that one to come out and to see more of it. In Epic Game Store, Torchlight 2 will be free this week. So if you guys want to check it out, it's a great game. That's one of the games that me and Riven actually let's played back in the day. And it's a treasured memory for us. In rare console news, apparently there's an auction for Super Mario completely sealed, being the highest selling video game at around $114,000. In terms of discounts for the Xbox One, Final Fantasy is coming out with some great discounts, majorly discounts for FF15 and other Final Fantasy titles. So definitely jump on board for those if you guys are into Final Fantasy. In terms of Marvel Avengers news, the beta starts in early August, the first of which will be for the PS4. I'll probably jump into that as well. In movie news, especially for those video game-related movie news, Uncharted, Tom Holland is apparently going to be in the movie, and they have apparently begun filming for it. In other movie news, Venom 2 has been pushed back. It was originally scheduled for this year, but it was pushed back due to COVID-related reasons. But the spin-off title sequel will be coming out in June 25th of next year. In funny random news, apparently Superman, Henry Cavill, builds a PC.
Okay, I don't know whether that was like a guy putting together a computer, like a porno or something.
I mean, yeah, he has the mustache for it. That pretty much concludes Talos Tidbits. Hope you guys like it. Obviously, links to all the descriptions and all the articles we talked about will be in the description down below for you guys to check out.
All right, moving into our next article. Sony related this time. Sony reportedly increasing PlayStation 5 production by 50%.
Just kind of talk about that briefly. Basically, we mentioned in our previous videos where if you want to pick up a console for this holiday season, definitely go ahead and pre-order it because there might be limited numbers. But it seems like this article is showing that they jumped up the production values of it due to demand. So maybe there won't be such a shortage this year. Let's
read this real quick. Sony and Microsoft are gearing up for battle for gaming platform supremacy with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. With the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, people are spending more and more time than ever alone in dark rooms where some games can really come in handy. Determined to avoid another PS3-style console shortage, Sony has reportedly ramped up its PlayStation 5 production. As recently as several weeks ago, analysts believe Sony was on track to produce about 6 million consoles for the late 2020 launch. Today, Nikkei says Sony's new target is 9 million, and Bloomberg believes 10 million is more accurate, so we're looking at a roughly 50% boost in production. Most publications agree the increase in demand from quarantine gamers is driving the force behind the move. People have been, keeping themselves sane with video games, and despite, huge numbers of unemployment, people are still buying games.
The fact that these consoles coming out in a perfect time, where big gamers are at home, and so it makes sense that they'll ramp up that production so that way they can feel that need to kind of get your mind off the situation outside in the real world. Is this effort that Sony's doing to ramp up production going to be for naught if it's too expensive and they don't end up selling all the extra consoles that they made? They're kind of going with their own gut feeling, but at the same time, if price is fair, maybe they think they know for a fact that price is going to be fair, and that's going to drive the value up. Maybe. So I think that right now Sony's just going with their gut feeling that they think that it's going to be a huge success, so they want to, jump into that expectation.
People know what to expect from Sony. We already have news of what we can expect down the line in terms of games. So I feel like Sony can come in this confidently knowing that people will still buy their consoles because of the games that they have in their library. And it's people want things to do during the quarantine. So I think no matter what, people will still buy it.
And they also had a question I got in mind, actually, I just thought of right now is they didn't specify if they're ramping up production on the digital editions or the one with disc. So maybe they only ramped up production because of the digital. It's probably easier to make.
But still, how do they know that though? Like, how do they know? I mean, what is that decision based off of though? How do they know what gamers want? Like, do gamers prefer the digital version versus like the,
Well, maybe they don't know. They're just obviously we're making guesses here, but
we're just speculating.
Yeah, we're speculating here, but I think the reason why production has ramped up is because it's easier to make the digital copies or digital consoles over the disc-based consoles, and they're kind of going with the assumption that people are going to go more digital console because it is cheaper to buy.
That might be the case.
That's kind of like my guess, because like we don't know what they're making more of. You know, obviously they already unveiled 2 different versions.
Yeah.
So that's just my guess. I could be wrong, but that's just my.
But if they're wrong in that assumption, then they're going to be short on the PlayStation 5s with the disc drives, and and have a surplus of like the digital ones.
And I'm still going with my gut feeling is, if you want the disc version, definitely pre-order that one, because I feel like those are going to be shorter, faster than the digital version.
Right.
I feel like more gamers still want disc at this time.
But in the end, we still don't know the prices yet, you know. Obviously, Microsoft hasn't released the prices for the Xbox Series X either. And I feel like it's just like a game of chicken right now to see who releases it first, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I still think though that the digital only version for the PS5 will be, out my guess, $100, $50 minimum cheaper than the disc version. And I think it's already been confirmed, sort of, that the digital only version, or the smaller version of the Xbox Series S, will be about $150 cheaper or $100 cheaper, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I'm just very curious to see on a price. I'm still putting my guess at $499, $599 at the most expensive range for the PS5.
Yeah.
And $399 for the Xbox, at $499 at the max for the Xbox.
Regardless, if anyone hasn't pre-ordered it yet, and if you guys are afraid that you're not going to get it, you know, good news. Sony's making more of them, so
yeah,
hopefully, hopefully you guys can get your hands on some of them.
Yeah, agreed. All right, guys, the final article we're going to be talking about, more like a discussion piece, is pretty much the comparison now between Sony's PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X. Compare, contrast, and what we know so far of those 2 consoles. All right, looking at this right now.
Hold on.
Yeah, Xbox Series X has a 3.8 gigahertz compared to a 3.5 processor, so slightly faster in that regard. Let me see.
Graphics cards are comparable too.
Yeah, graphics card. Well, it looks like graphics card is better on the on the PlayStation
5. Yeah.
I mean, the things though, it has 52 CUs. So I'm not sure. Obviously, we're not very big on like tech specs as much. We're just kind of looking at the bare numbers of it.
Yeah.
But it kind of sounds like graphic wise is about the same. I mean, they're both by AMD. That's the big thing. So I would imagine it's pretty similar.
Storage, I think we talked about the storage before, but Xbox Series X does have a full terabyte, but the PlayStation 5 only has 825 gigabytes. Both SSD.
Yeah, both obviously in 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah,
they're both going to be 4K at around 120 frames per second, but of course that's maximum frame rate. Doesn't have to be for sure. It depends on the game. They're both going to have ray tracing, I believe.
Yes. Controllers, we talked about the controllers before. The controllers are pretty much. I
mean, they kind of touted about the haptic feedback, but obviously without actually hands-on, we can't make a full comparison.
Yeah.
And it looks like the VR support is unknown for the Xbox Series X, but I'm sure didn't Microsoft buy Oculus Rift?
Oculus is the division of Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Okay. As of right now, there's no VR support that we know of for the Xbox Series S or X. But obviously, the VR is going to be included with their PlayStation. But unless Microsoft gets a partnership with Facebook, with Oculus Rift or Valve in terms of their HTC Vive, I don't see them competing head to head with VR. But that's not going to be a killer for the Xbox, because I feel like VR is still kind of brand new for most people, so it might not be, like a concert killer in that regard.
Yeah, let's talk about backwards compatibility. They announced that Xbox One is backwards compatible. No, they announced that it's backwards compatible with Xbox One and Xbox 360 and Xbox games. Yeah. So the whole family. Shebang. Yeah. Whereas PlayStation is only backwards compatible with PS4.
Well, keep in mind, PlayStation has that PS Now feature where you can actually play retro games like PS3, PS2, and PS1 games.
Yeah.
So it's digital, but you can actually use the disc version. I'm curious to see to find out if Xbox means is backwards compatible because it's digital, or is backwards compatible because you can actually use a disc. Because technically, PlayStation also has backwards compatibility with all those games too, but they have to use a subscription model.
So launch titles. I feel like the Xbox launch titles are stronger. So for PlayStation 5, you have Godfall, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, whereas Xbox has Halo Infinite, Madden NFL 21, and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Madden should be for all consoles. I don't know why Madden will be there exclusively.
Yeah. I'm not
same thing with Yakuza. Yakuza was mostly on PlayStation, so those aren't exclusive titles.
It could be a timed exclusive. They might just be exclusive for Xbox. Maybe. And then they'll come out for PlayStation. Because I remember like Tomb Raider, the second Tomb Raider in the reboot.
Oh yeah, that was time exclusive for the Xbox, is right.
Yeah. So they might be doing that too. But look at Halo Infinite and Madden. I recently bought Yakuza 0. Haven't played it yet, but I've seen playthroughs of it. It looks interesting. But this definitely looks like a better lineup than the PlayStation 5. Godfall. I don't know. I felt a little underwhelmed with
the trailer the trailer that they announced for the PS5 conference didn't intrigue me that much. But Spider-Man though looks pretty good. But that was only a teaser. There was no gameplay for that one at all.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like lackluster too.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna pick up the Spider-Man game. Godfall maybe, but like I said, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, they both have subscription tie-ins, but like we mentioned before, the Xbox.
The Game Pass feels like a lot better than the PS Now.
Yeah, Xbox Game Pass, I believe, has like more. I don't know if it's more games, but if you have like the Ultimate Game Pass, you'll have access to XCloud, which is.
To be honest, I believe they do have a bigger library than PS Now.
So Xbox Game Pass is definitely superior for the time being, and that's only. And to add to that, the XCloud as well. So that's like another added feature.
That's true.
Yeah. And of course, we don't know like the exact release date, but holiday 2020, which is the ultimate battle will happen. Definitely.
I can't really make a full comparison yet until we see the conference next week for the PS5. So that's why I'm going to be doing a live reaction of that on our Twitch to kind of give my opinions on it, as well as a full breakdown of that video. So we'll just have to wait and see.
So
what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts for me. Well, I think that PlayStation 5's strength is still in its library of games. They have well, it's kind of unfair to compare them since we don't really know Microsoft's full library of games. But from what we do know, though, and from our experience with PlayStation, we're gonna get some really, really good games. And PlayStation has a history of having really good exclusive games. The Xbox Series X does have a lot of things going for it. It's definitely a more powerful system. I don't know if it matters because it's only slightly more powerful. But I feel like if what Xbox is lacking in games, it's also making up for with accessibility. I feel like because they're really doubling down on like the service aspect of it, like the subscription based aspect of gaming. I feel like that's going to be their strength.
I agree.
Yeah, we talked about it before. You know, like that's the reason why they shut down Mixer, so they can start putting money into, you know, like XCloud and stuff.
You know what's funny? Like, you kind of brought up a good point. Like, they're pushing all this, you know, technology and for the XCloud, but I think Sony is going to see how this goes. They're obviously Microsoft is kind of testing the waters. If this is successful, and let's say they win this console war, for example, hypothetically, I believe during the PS6 or maybe during the PS5 phrase, they'll start pushing out more of their cloud stuff as well. So maybe they have their own cloud. So they'll that's my guess. Like maybe Sony's kind of like seeing how this goes, and because that's kind of like how the approach they took with the PS3, and they realized, oh, okay, this was successful, so we're going to add this in there. I don't know. That's just my guess, but
yeah, but
cloud gaming is definitely good. It's definitely the future,
right? And Microsoft seems to be pushing that. You know, they do have the superior subscription-based product, I think, Xbox Game Pass. It's only going to be more, you know, improved with XCloud. Yeah. So, and I believe their games, are also going to be not exclusive. Well, what I mean by that is the games will be available for Xbox and PC as well. So it's possible when they really roll out that XCloud feature, there might be some sort of crossplay between PC and Xbox,
and mobile too.
Mobile. And mobile. So they have a lot of things going on for them, and you know, it may not be like the game. It may not be game related, but in terms of features and accessibility, they definitely have a lot going for them. Alrighty, that's it for the news for now. Thank you guys for watching.
And also, guys, if you guys want to watch our a live reaction, basically, of the Microsoft showcase next week, definitely tune in. So follow us on Twitch, and follow pretty much a little bit afterwards. We'll be doing a breakdown video of that with me and Riven. So eventually, we'll go in more in depth with that. And if you want to support the show, be sure to check out our Amazon affiliate links down in the description.
And if you liked the video, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. And comment down below, what are you guys looking forward to the most for Microsoft's Xbox Game Showcase? With that being said, this is the Studley signing out. See you guys later.
Later, guys.
Alrighty, so rolling into our main...
Sorry.